So I hope you remember the sutra number. Okay, I want to know how many of you have remembered. Don't worry, I didn't remember, okay? Still, I don't know whether whatever I have remembered is right or wrong. So what is the sutra number?
41.
Okay, that means you are updated. Perfect. So, very nicely, क्षीण वृत्ते अभिजातस्येव मणेः ग्रहीतु ग्रहणग्राहेषु तज्जनता समापत्तिः. So we were talking about, because this samapati is going to lead to samadhi. This samapati, in one word we use the word called engrossment. So the mind gets engrossed, and this engrossment only brings knowledge to us. See what a beautiful concept, okay? So sometimes people say you are engrossed, you are lost. But engrossment only brings the knowledge. That is how we have been taught. That's why you will see especially Sutra number 42, that in this sutra, when we are discussing in details, we have discussed that we have, let us say, this samapatti can be divided into 3 categories. One is called savitarka. In fact, 4 categories. Savitarka. Then second will be savichara. Third will be nirvitarka. And the 4th category called nirvichara. But the problem with all of us in our day-to-day life, sometimes we are not sometimes, most of the time we are in savitarka. We don't proceed further. So what is that savitarka? Let us look at the next sutra, sutra number 4.2. So in 4.2, let us chant Tatra Sarvartha Jnana Vikalpaihi Sankirna Savitarka Samapattihi. In the previous class, we had discussed how this engrossment takes place. Always we have a beautiful example of crystal. So the crystal is being kept. Now, next to the crystal, whatever color is being kept, whatever colorful object is being kept, whether it is a cloth or anything, let us say a red cloth is being kept near to the crystal. Now, it will appear as a ruby. So what happens is, now the appearance of crystal, how it becomes engrossed with the next or adjacent object. Now here it goes one step ahead. It's not like that. Here it says, look, when we say savi tarka samapattihi, shabda artha jnana vikalpa. So that means shabda artha jnana vikalpa, of course, gives example Vakshakara. So the engrossment, what happens? It is shabda and artha, the mixture of shabda, words, and its meanings. So that means, if you look at, now this knowledge is being acquired with the help of sound and its meaning. And that, what is known, that knowledge, we call as savitarka samapattihi. So one type of engrossment takes place. So here our classical example comes, go, cow. So when we say that gau shabdaha, So that means the moment I use the word cow, so each one starts visualizing, first hear the sound called cow. Now you have a correspondence meaning to the cow. Suppose if I want to have a gosala, and especially in India now people are very, I am happy to know, especially youngsters, like middle aged, they want to have cow, gosala. Once they become successful, first target is for them to take care of cows, and that to Indian breed. For example, Gir cow. Like somebody called, so Swamiji, I want to have a Gir cow gosala. I said, wow, that's very nice. So at least in that excuse, I can go and spend some time with the cows. Okay, that's my way of looking at. And of course, when you spend some time with the cows, you get the best milk. Okay, and remember, somebody said, I think did I share with you all? This is a beautiful concept we have. Just I am bringing this concept. The cow came. Once a Swami was asked that tell us what is the best milk. And the Swami said, look, among milk, if you ask me, buffalo milk is the best. Because buffalo milk is, mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella. Wow, don't ask, okay? So, nothing like to have buffalo mozzarella, okay? So, and really, buffalo milk is good. And also, I can tell you openly, buffalo ghee is good for summer. So that means there are many things are there, okay, about buffalo. Then the person said, okay, if the buffalo milk is good, the best milk among all animals, then why you people are worshipping cow? Why are you people are respecting cow? Don't you think something is wrong with you people? Better to worship buffalo, okay? Then what about this cow milk? Then the Swamiji answered, in fact, we don't consider cow milk as milk. For us, cow milk is called amrutam. So when it is amrutam, cannot be considered as a food. That's why, interestingly, as you know, there is only one milk called cow milk. Any animal, even if an infant baby, can survive. Suppose a baby is there, mother is passed away, no more. You can give cow milk without thinking anything. And interestingly, even if also cow milk need not be boiled, directly a baby can drink, nothing will happen. So let me not get into. So this is the concept of the cow here. So the moment we say cow, from here I stressed. Now, corresponding to the cow, whatever knowledge I have, whether it is smriti jnanam or pratyaksha jnanam, so backed up by the memories or from the through the direct perception. Now I start visualizing in my way. Now when I start visualizing, hearing the word cow with its meaning, now I start visualizing the color, form, where, how. Now there is engrossment. Mind is already engrossed. And if we observe our life, most of the time we are being engrossed in this way only. That's why in class you are nicely engrossed in one way or other. So I say one word, physically you are here listening to me, but you are engrossed, both the ears are parallelly thanks to God, coming and entering. But you are still in savitarka samapatti. Is it clear? So, savitarka samapatti is very convenient for all of us or for anybody. Now, this savitarka samapatti must be taken into the next step, that is called that savichara. So savichara means where we use the word. Now this is the little difference. Let us read, because in savitarka one aspect, in savichara there is another aspect. So what is that aspect? Here he says beautifully. Let us look at the next sutra. Quickly we'll say. Smriti parishuddho swarupa shunya eva arthamatra nirbhasa nirvirtaka nivitarka. Am I right? Sutra, right? Yeah, savitarka, nivitarka, correct. Okay, here the sutra wise little different, but I gave the explanation because this is called, when you do not do the homework, this is where the problem happens. Yeah. First is nivrittaka, then after that comes savichara. So okay, nirvichara, savichara, nivichara. However, let us look at nivrittaka. There is no choice for me. Whatever sutra goes, according we go ahead. In my mind, I cannot do anything. Now he says, look, there is another way of looking at. How? Tatra. So tatra means when, especially when sabdartha gyan, what is going on? Or see, here it says smriti parishuddho. So when a memory is purified, we'll be seeing the steps and all these things. Now what happens? Swarupa shunya eva artha matra nirbhasa. Now what happens? Once the memory is being purified, now the mind is devoid of its own nature. So that means whatever reflecting object or reflecting consciousness. So out of that, free from that. And what happens? Now, here he says, because of this thing, only eva matra nibhasaha, only what happens, that the object, that which is being contemplated, remains illuminated. Only that continues. And this kind of engrossment is called nirvitarka. How? Let us look at the example also. See, same example. When we look at this cow, that time it is called savitarka. When the gross animal is being visualized. When we say the cow, now, oh, cow is moving. That person's cow or my cow, something has happened, that didn't happen. I hope you understand the. So that means, moreover, you can use the word where memory is completely occupied with the sense of me and mine. So that means it is very gross in nature. That's why in savitarka samapatti, there are only jerks in our life. And this set of jerk creates in such a, for example, I can use, in fact, few days back I was talking, who is in our Vedantic term we use, this idam vritti and aham vritti. So when this aham vritti is there in idam vritti, and I thought, I hope you understand this. All these are basic things, okay? The basic concepts. Now what happens is, now more this aham vritti is in idam vritti. Now this house, but why I am visualizing this house? Because my ahankara is there. So I don't look at a house as a house. I am completely engrossed with me, with my sense of, let us say, insecurity in short, or with my sense of knowledge, or whatever you may use. Now what happens? I am totally gross in nature with reference to that house. And it can be any example, makes no difference. And it's very easy to get stuck in this savitarka samapatti. In fact, people's life is only nothing but to be stuck with savitarka. Is it clear? If you look at just close your eyes, mind is only dwelling upon savitarka samapatti. So this engrossment is so gross. And once you are acquainted with that, please understand, you don't go further. And it is impossible to go further to see any development. That's why we have a beautiful way of looking at. If a mind is engrossed with savitarka samapatti, whatever it may be, now next life will be that. Like we have got a beautiful example, a rishi was doing yaga. So then one deer was being chased by a tiger, and finally one cub was born. Okay, somehow the mother passed away and was snatched by a tiger. Now the cub started growing up with the rishi. Now what happens to the rishi? Rishi looks at the child because it's called responsibility. This is called pure pravala prarabdha, okay? The rishi left everything, now finally got caught up with a cub. And of course, when the yaga is there, deer comes, that sound, all this thing comes, then what happens automatically? The love for special, because the person could not express love to anybody, now a baby comes in, you understand? Now all the time is a concern about that deer as the deer keeps growing. This is a typical example we do have. So this is nothing but called savitarka samapatti. We may justify stating that being a Swami, being a Rishi, must have daya, must have karuna, blah, 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 blah. Fantastic, nothing wrong in it. But this daya, karuna also has a limitation, must be drawn a line. One should draw a line. But when my mind is completely engrossed and I am acquainted with this savitarka samapatti day in and day out, it is very difficult to grow out of it. So that's why in this case, one step one has to take from savitarka, go should nirvichara. So when it says nirvichara, so how it is to be possible? That can be done. Sorry, not nirvichara, sorry, I am jumping. Nivitarka. Nirvitarka means where object is not involved. Memory has to be purified. How memory? To purify memory? A memory is memory. How to purify? Is there any method to purify memory? This is called, all these tricks and techniques in Yoga Shastra. So to purify memory, what is to be done? It is nothing to be done. Only make sure that the engrossment that is happening, or when mind is engrossed in any thought process, let the person learn to withdraw oneself from the gross object or gross scenarios. I'll give you a beautiful example. Let us say you think of Himalaya. The word Himalaya is a sabda. So being this sound, now you visualize. So when you visualize, what you visualize? Himalaya. Oh, ashram. Or whatever way you visualize. All the mountains, greeneries, whatever comes to your mind. And of course, if you are in-laws house, you will visualize your in-laws house. So whatever, don't worry, just to pull the leg, nothing else. So what you will do? So definitely this is called Himalaya. Now when you start visualizing this, let us say next month you are planning to come, or in 10 days time you are going to come. Now what will happen? How you will visualize Himalaya? Oh, is there any rain? How is the road condition? Will there be good accommodation? What is to be done? What is not to be done? I hope you understand. Now, in those thoughts, only you are looking at the gross aspect. Now later on, suppose you are sitting for some time. Because remember, this topic is coming what? All handling all the 9 types of obstacles that we have discussed in details. Okay? Don't forget our background of the classes. So that means you have been sitting for a long time. Now when I say Himalaya, now Himalaya sound does not take to you the gross Himalaya, but it is only dwelling upon the concept of Himalaya. Can you see this point? So in short, in Vedanta Shastra, I am just trying to bring Vedanta. So in Vedanta Shastra, what we talk as that removing this ahankara, ahamvritti, I thought, from Himalaya, from idam vritti, from this thought, is called here nihi vitarka, nirvitarka, samapatti. Is it clear? Very simple. So it is a process where I start withdrawing me from known object. Because what happens with all of us, that knowledge is good for me, I think. Where I am involved, what is beneficial to me? Can you see this point? Where I am connected, where I am benefited, where I can enjoy, in the sense, my likes and dislikes, my involvement. This is what I say. If I am not involved, why should I? That is how when people look at Vedanta Shastra in this angle, like, no, I must enjoy Vedanta. I see. Because if you enjoy Vedanta, don't worry, you will have vairagya for Vedanta. Today you enjoy Vedanta, tomorrow definitely you will have vairagyam. Because wherever there is enjoyment, there has to be what? Frustration in life. It never happens. Because if you go up, you have to fall down, okay? Life is not going up and down, okay? It is walking on the inclined plane. However, coming to the point, so this samapatti, which is called as nirvitarkaha, this is something to be consciously developed and the process to be maintained carefully. Once the person is in nirvitarkaha, then only that person will be able to go, or able to do, not go, able to do this memory purification. Because with this sutra I will stop, because I have not done homework, to be very honest. So I have my limitation today. That to purify my memory, I must learn to withdraw me from memory. Is it clear? The more I am able to withdraw myself from my memory, the more my memory is purified. Again I am repeating. The more I am able to withdraw myself from my memory, the more I have purified memories. And remember, purified memories is knowledge. Whereas impurified knowledge is a burden. Repeating, purified memory is knowledge, whereas impurified memory is a burden. And people are overburdened with burdens. More of it we'll see in our next class. Please. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.